Hello! Back again. I didn't want to do a part 2 to this so soon. I wanted to hopefully break it up just for the sake of interest. Yeah, I wasn't able to do that, so apologies. But hi, my name is Jasmine. I have the Crocheting here on YouTube, and this is week 2 of doing my insanely timed advent calendar. Yeah, we're trying. So if you didn't see part 1 that was uploaded last week, go check that out. If you don't really feel like spending that much time, I will sum it up really briefly. I'm essentially crocheting almost completely an entire advent calendar from day 1 to 25 for my siblings and mother. I'm trying so hard to get all of these done. I did get a good chunk of things done in the first week, and I'm going to recap everything that I got done in the first week, as well as showing what I got done in this second week. And I don't know how long this video is going to be just as a precursor, but I'm going to try to fit everything in here. I do have a lot of things to the side here. You can see a couple things here, a good chunk of things in the middle, and some things to the side here. So I'm going to be reaching and leaning in all sorts of directions. So I apologize for that. My hair is very messy today, and if you do watch me regularly, if my voice sounds off, I am coming down with a cold. So I might sound a little weird. Also, I have a little band-aid on my nose. If you're peeping that, apologies. I have a pimple right where my glasses sit. So I stick a band-aid there just so it's not rubbing against the pimple the whole day. So for one of the days, I picked these up at my local Michael. They're little penguin paint kits. So I got 2 of them. They did have other ones, but I didn't want my siblings to fight over who got which ones. So I just got them both penguins because I figured there was enough creativity there, because they don't have to necessarily make each one just a black base. It gives them a bit of creativity for which ones they can use. Also, I have a giant paint collection that I'm more than happy to share. So the paints in here really are just optional. I have my own collection. But yeah, I got them. They're on 2 little penguins, and that does count for week 2, having something crossed off the list, thankfully. In week 1, if you recall, I made this reindeer and this gingerbread to make for their own day for this set, and I did mention that there was a secondary set, so I do have that finished this week, and I put some blush on them just because they're white to give them some color. Here is the snowman one, and then the polar bear. So here's all 4 of these. They came out a lot bigger than originally expected, but I think they are all pretty cute. I am putting everything in a bag to the side of me as I go through them, just so they're all in one place before I wrap everything. What can go in here next? Probably these. For week 1, I was working on a Merry Christmas banner. I had the word Merry done, but I did not have the word Christmas sewn yet. I do have this one fully sewn now, so this one is finished, and then as another day crossed off the list. I will go through all of them again at the end of this. I'm going to throw this in the bag here. This was the pillow that I was working on for the first week. I finished it today, 5 minutes before filming this. So here is the entire front into the entire back, and then this is where you would insert the pillow. Now it is technically reversible because I did weave in all the ends. It turned out to be a lot larger than I thought. Like, I thought this was going to be a throw pillow. This is a lot bigger than anticipated originally, so I'm not sure where it's going to go exactly anymore. But it was too far in by the time I realized that. I had both back pieces and the entirety of the front done when I realized how large it would actually be. Its sizing in the back was smaller than the front, which was kind of irritating, but I managed to make it work. So this is finished for week 2. And then we have a few more finished things. I have some small things that I gotta pull out of here. I've been using that as a storage basket. So this is the bottom basket for the tree, if you remember from week 1. It goes like that. You know, if it would sit properly. Goes like that to make a cute little tree basket that I finished during week 1. And I've been using this to keep small things in, so I'm going to continue to do that. I got this dishcloth done in week 1. It turns out I wanted to do a few more just because they are quick, easy, and I know that my family will use them, including myself. Here is a second one that I made in a lot brighter colors, and then here is one that I made in more neutral colors. So these two are done for week 2. So there's 2 more. This is a little bell ornament that I made for their tree. This one was finished in week 2. Here is that tree again from week 1. It's hanging in there. I don't like it as much as I thought I would from the picture, just because it doesn't look quite as well, but that's on me. That was finished in week 1. Here's a snowflake ornament that was finished also in week 1. Here's a candy cane that was finished in week 1. I still don't know why it looks a little funky like that. Here is a wreath that I finished for week 2, and I stuck some pom-poms around the side of it because I figured that would look cuter than the bow option that they had there. This stocking was done in week 1, and this is a mini light bulb ornament that I made in week 2. And those are all of the little things that I have in that basket. I do have quite a few other things still. I made the pot, as you know, from week 1. I mentioned that I was going to throw this in there. I did make the 3 small flowers that sit in it, although they don't like sitting in here very well. I have to keep like readjusting. Yeah, there they go. It's a lot of readjusting on my part. They just don't typically like sitting in here correctly. There we go. There is the 3 of them. I think they're pretty cute. I think I probably could have used more flowers on top, although the pattern only shows 3, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time to make extra flowers considering the date. It is currently what day is it? The 22nd as I'm filming this. I want to cry. There is that one completed, however, and the couch caddy that I had started in week 1, I have an update for. I've gotten to 50 something stitches now. I did put stitch markers on the side here to indicate every 10 stitches, just so I'm not recounting so often. So here's 10, 20, 30, 40. So I'm on my way to 50. So this is pretty close to being halfway done now. So fingers crossed, yeah, pretty close to being halfway done, because it makes the first set and then it makes the part that goes over the couch, and then the second set I'm gonna need luck. So this is almost halfway completed. I don't know if I showed these ones off in the previous video. I don't recall when I made them, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 full hearts and then 2 half hearts to go on the tree skirt that I am making. And I did start the tree skirt. As you can see, it is nowhere near the full size of a tree skirt just yet. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rows so far. I believe the upper skirt goes to 20, and then it branches out into each piece because they spike into stars, and then the heart goes on each like spiked out area. So I've got this far on the tree skirt so far. At the end of week 1, I mentioned that I was going to weave in these ends and add this in for their blanket for my mom. I did weave in all of the ends. So this is technically completed for week 2. So that is technically finished. And my local Michael's did have some anniversary cakes in stock. They were sold out last week, but I managed to get my hands on some. So I bought this color to make a hexagon blanket for my sister, and then this color to make a hexagon blanket for my brother. Now I am running pretty close on time here. I was planning to give those to them Christmas Eve anyways, so I do have time to do that whilst they're opening everything else in the advent calendar, which is the goal. If I can't finish all of the bigger things, I'm trying to do as many little things in between the bigger things as possible. I also do have this table runner that I'm throwing in there just to mention. As you can see, the ends are not weaved in at all. I need to weave all those in still. But for my little checklist here, everything that I've completed so far, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, hold on. 11, 12, 13, 14 days completed so far, including their actual Christmas presents. I have 1, 2, 3 in the works still. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days that are completely blank for things that I still have to think of to do. I did have things originally on the list. I've mentioned them in week 1. However, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to make those specific items anymore. So I left the blanks open in order to give myself the chance to find either smaller things to make or substitute them out with activities and such. So things that my younger siblings love to do a lot is to play board games, although I've been telling them no because obviously I'm doing all of this for them, which they don't know yet. So I did write on one of the days that we were going to have a movie night, game night, and just to bake cookies. It's all on one night. So it's like we'll bake cookies and then we'll put movies on as we're playing some board games for them. My nose is so bad. I really need to hold on just once. Now that I've blown my nose, probably should have paused before I reached for the toilet paper. My nose is really bothering me. This sickness, I'm sure it bothers everybody. Whenever they get sick, is the runny nose. That's the absolute worst part. But I do have the 5 blanks. I know that they like tie-dyeing, so I'm probably going to get them some white shirts and a tie-dye kit for one of the days, which would give me an extra day of leeway. So in total, I have 20 of the 25 days thought up and written, and I have a few of them done, like a little less than half to halfway done with the days. Obviously, there is still a lot of work cut out for me. I did show everything off in this video again for the weeks that I did finish because, drumroll please, your girls finally got wrapping paper and scotch tape. So I'm going to wrap up what I do have now, including my other Christmas presents that I have to wrap. So I'm going to wrap up my actual Christmas presents and the first 2 weeks of things that I haven't completed with the wrapping paper. So you're not going to see me going over each time every item. They're going to be wrapped from now on. And then I'm going to have to obviously just like write down numbers somehow. I'm not sure how I'm number coordinating them just yet. I'm probably gonna opt to wrap everything tomorrow actually on one of my days off because it would make more sense than doing it at like 7 p.m. at night and then not being able to completely finish it. But I do have this really cute wrapping paper that's got like little reindeers on it, so I'm pretty excited to use that. But that is all of the rambling that I'm going to do currently. I do have some time still tonight. I believe it's like 7 o'clock for me right now. I'm just filming this now, so that way I don't have to do so in the morning. I can just post it straight in the morning and then just work all day. Now, I'm not sure which ones I'm going to work on currently. No idea which project I'm going to do. I'm probably going to try to look for some smaller things to make for them. I'm thinking maybe some keychains or stuffed animals just because I can get those out pretty quickly in comparison to doing some larger things. Like I said, I'm definitely not starting their blankets anytime soon. We're going to try to save some more time-ridden ones for later. But I'm going to stop rambling now and I'm going to get back to work. I'll see you guys next weekend, probably with a part 3.